In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, our favorite characters are blessed with paranormal powers and superhuman abilities that we could only dream of having. But it turns out that you don't have to go to the movies to meet a real-life Marvel character. Walking among us are people that you would swear are undercover Avengers or X-Men in disguise. Ready to meet the real-life superhero squad with supernatural abilities? Let's get it on! Iranian Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is certainly one of the most recognizable and iconic superheroes in the MCU. Played by Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk owes much of his appearance to some pretty advanced CGI. While Ruffalo looks nothing like his muscular and green alter ego, Iranian bodybuilder Sajjad Gharibi could quite easily pass for the rampaging radioactive Hulk. I mean, besides not being green, Sajjad has amassed a huge following on social media due to his Hulk-like status. On Instagram, he has 479,000 followers and has been nicknamed the Iranian Hulk by his fans. Towering at 6 foot 2 inches, Sajjad is 155 kilograms of pure muscle. He's a regular participant at weightlifting competitions and he represents his country at bodybuilding tournaments around the world. You definitely do not want to get this man angry. He'll smash. British Iron Man. Not every superhero has a special ability. Some are just super rich with a lot of time on their hands. Take Tony Stark and his billion-dollar Iron Man suit, for example. He's just a billionaire playboy inventor with an expensive toy. The same goes for Richard Browning. The 38-year-old British inventor has spent the past 6 years developing his very own Iron Man exoskeleton attached to 6 kerosene-fueled microturbines to provide thrust. His first test wasn't pretty, but Richard managed to clumsily hover for a few seconds. Just like Tony Stark, the founder of Gravity Industries went back to the drawing board to refine the design. At the same time, Browning began an intense regime of core-building calisthenic exercises to handle the extreme forces generated by his hand, feet, and back-mounted turbines. The suit improved with each test, and in 2017, at 32.02 miles per hour, Richard set a Guinness World Record for the fastest speed in a body-controlled jet engine-powered suit. Not happy with the speed, Browning had another attempt with a newer suit in 2019, smashing his previous record by traveling at 85.06 miles per hour over England's Brighton Pier. Captain America. Most of the toys wielded by our Marvel superheroes look decades ahead of our current technology. Iron Man's arc reactor and unibeam, Rocket's hadron enforcer, and of course Captain America's shield. In the MCU, Cap's shield is made out of a virtually indestructible adamantium vibranium alloy. Think Wolverine's claws mixed with the best tech in Wakanda. You'd think without these mythical metals, Captain America's shield would be a work of comic book fantasy. Introducing James Hobson, aka the Hacksmith. This famous YouTuber and inventor has made it his mission to create working replicas of sci-fi and comic book tech. He's built Kylo Ren's lightsaber, Thor's Mjolnir, and even Thanos' oversized double-edged sword. But it's the different iterations of the Hacksmith's Captain America/Civil Warrior shield that really turned heads. One version features an electromagnet that allows the wearer to catch the shield on a metal gauntlet on their arm. Another version is equipped with a miniaturized arc reactor, powering blinding LED lights. But the penultimate prototype featured a unibeam straight out of the pages of the Civil Warrior. A compact setup of 20 water-cooled laser diodes fires a steady blue laser beam that can do some serious damage. Red Skull Rodriguez. Once Captain America's nemesis in the MCU series and later serving as the guardian of the Soul Stone in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, Red Skull is one of the most memorable villains in the Marvel Universe. His signature Red Skull makes him a truly terrifying evil character. And that didn't stop Henry Rodriguez from doing everything he can to look like the demonic baddie. The 37-year-old from Venezuela has spent over $40,000 on surgeries to transform himself to Red Skull over the course of 10 years. With numerous tattoos, a split tongue, completely black eyes, and an amputated nose, Henry draws attention wherever he goes. I wonder why. Thor from Earth. Achieving the physique of a mythological god is no easy task. Just ask Chris Hemsworth, who trained 6 days a week for months at a time for his role as Thor, the God of Thunder. The grueling mix of heavy weightlifting, resistance training, and cardio resulted in the superhero we know and love. When it came time for the dangerous stunts and death-defying antics required by the Avengers, Thor called in a trusty doppelganger to take the blows. Bobby Holland Hanton easily passes for the son of Odin, from his intimidating musculature all the way to his wispy golden hair. And just like his famous actor Lookalike, Bobby underwent an intense regime to fill the famous Valhallan's boots. While some people say the pair are identical, Chris may have other ideas. Gambit. If you're an old-school X-Men fan, you'll be familiar with the dark, mysterious, yet deadly Gambit. With the ability to charge everyday items with kinetic energy and turn them into explosive projectiles, Gambit's weapon of choice was a deck of flaming playing cards. Back to reality. There's another person who uses his skill with the deck to turn the ace of spades into a brutal ninja star. Rick Smith Jr. is a man in demand due to his insane card-throwing skills. He's the Guinness World Record holder for farthest thrown distance of a playing card at an astonishing 216 feet. Up close, his speed and accuracy is even more impressive, hitting a 10-inch target 47 times from 52 attempts in 60 seconds. This is one card shark you definitely don't want to go heads up against. Star-Lord's twin. When it comes to guarding the galaxy, Star-Lord may not always be available. Actor Chris Pratt is a busy man with leading roles in Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic Park, and Passengers. Who better to step in than his very own doppelganger, stunt double Tony McFar? The resemblance is uncanny. Even without the famous Kree-issued battle helmet, Tony often gets stopped and asks for Chris's autograph. Being a stunt double is dangerous work. In the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Tony's thrown into frame, smashing his head against a step. Not missing a beat, McFar stands up and finishes the scene flawlessly. When the director yelled cut, the Star-Lord doppelganger had to be carted off to the hospital to get 10 staples in his head. Now that's what I call dedication. Venom. Looking at Marvel's Venom, there's a whole list of superpowers to be envious of. Super speed, Spider-Man's agility, increased strength, and the ability to camouflage and shapeshift. But thanks to some pretty crazy genetics, 24-year-old Nick Stoberl chose another one of Venom's superpowers to show off. The Californian artist and comedian is famous for his extraordinarily long tongue, measuring a crazy 3.97 inches, 10.1 centimeters long from its tip to the middle of a closed top lip. Nick is the Guinness World Record holder for having the longest tongue in the world. While Venom's tongue in the movies is mostly aesthetic and therefore shock value, Nick has put his to good use, learning how to paint with his tongue. His new talent nabbed him a new Guinness World Record, the largest painting of a beaver painted using tongue. Wolverine. Most people would be thrilled at being mistaken for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, but for Milwaukee local John Hammond, he prefers the comics. Recognized for his strong, sharp features that resembles Hugh Jackman in the various Wolverine movies, John believes he looks more like Wolverine than Jackman himself. In fact, Milverine, as John has been nicknamed, thinks Hugh Jackman is a bit of a pretty boy dancer type and said if the two of us got in a fight, Jackman would lose. John's Wolverine likeness has earned him cult status in his home city of Milwaukee, and viral social media fame that includes a local beer named after him and a bobblehead celebrating the local legend. Here's looking at you, bub. Real-life Spider-Man. We all know Spider-Man's origin story. Lovable Peter Parker is bitten by a radioactive spider and suddenly all of his senses, strengths, and abilities are heightened out of this world. It's the reason why Andrew Garfield's version of Peter Parker goes from goofy-footed skater to Tony Hawk Pro contender almost overnight. But it turns out Garfield isn't such a natural on the board, so they had to bring in a pro. William Spencer is a dead ringer for Garfield's Spider-Man with matching height, weight, build, and shaggy brown locks. But that's where the similarities end. Put him on a skateboard and Spencer nails the transformed Peter Parker in the warehouse skating montage scene. It wasn't the only time Spencer was called in as Spider-Man's likeness either. Throughout the Amazing Spider-Man series, William fought, was slammed into the ground, fell off a 6-story build, and was thrown through a wall, all in a day's work.